Hello! Welcome back to my playthrough on Starbase. This is closed alpha. I think I was calling it closed access when I think technically we called it closed alpha, so that's that. Now that that confusion's out of the way. So where we left off, we brought, what did we do? We were following around our ship and I was going to go see about what we're going to do. There's been quite a bit of progress the last couple of days. I mean, visually it's not going to look too different, but basically we got this ship here. I did a few mining runs and we'll do one today just to give a feel for what it's like. And I've upgraded it with cargo crates, more cargo crates, so now we can store more before we have to go back in. I've made a couple other improvements from some videos that I researched. One of them was to add what's called ISAN, like integrated some system automated navigation, something like that. So basically this guy looks at the waypoints for the different stations and then calculates a XYZ coordinate system, which you can see here from our pilot seat, to give us a rough coordinates for our location. So that's pretty cool. So one thing that we're going to do before we really get started is we're going to add a couple of box thrusters to this little ship here, because when these guys get full, this ship does not move very quick. So we're going to add a couple more box thrusters so we get a little bit more oomph. So we're going to go over here to our little, actually I don't even think we need to go over there, we can just go instance transfer, insurance transfer, marketplace, just like that. And then our consciousness is magically teleported to a clone. At least I think that's the theory, although we still keep our items, so I'm not sure how accurate it being a clone is, since our stuff comes with us. And then what we're going to look for here, it's a device. I'm not sure which section it would be under. Doesn't look like it's under there. Is it under here maybe? So we already have hard points on it. We need a box thruster body. Need 2 of those. And we need 2 combustion chambers. And we need 2 nozzles. I think there's some sort of like enhancers you can get for thrusters. Yeah, these things. So we'll get 2 of these. And then 2 of these. I'm not sure of the exact details, but they're supposed to be able to make the thruster work a little bit better. So then we got those parts now, so then we'll head back to the ship area and we're gonna manually upgrade our ship some more here by adding those thrusters. Transfer. There we go. That's not my ship. That's my ship. All right. So along with adding that little it's called a small navigation receiver. There's a large version, but from my understanding, it doesn't actually have a difference right now. We added a yellow rack here with a couple of chips, one for memory and one's the actual program. And that's what does the calculations for our handy dandy doodad here. So then, let's see, let's go here. So then we want to put our box thruster down. Gotta put the box down first. Let's see. How do we, what's it like? Something like that. Hey, kitty cat. Is this even pointing in the right direction? I want to say this is probably the nozzle, so we need to swap it around. Alright, there. Sorry about that. Just had a small interruption. So, we're trying to get this guy, but I think it needs to be turned around. So if we hit tab and then right click, I think this is the back. Then we tab to get out of there. Oh, this is kind of hard to do. start to bring it down towards the hard point. Oh, there we go. My snapping was turned off. That was part of the problem. There we go. I think it's snapped in. Great. Looks right. Alright, so then... So I don't think we have to bolt it directly to the hard point, but we definitely have to bolt down the box itself. Which is not letting me. Not far enough down? Oh, it's because it's too far. There we go, that one's working. One work. That one works. We'll just kind of put a couple inside just to make sure it stays in. I don't think that having them inside affects anything. So that should stay put, I think, with 4. So then the next part is the inside, is the combustion chamber. So that's the top because it doesn't have the venties. So I think we'd want to go like grab it from the bottom. Back away here. Get it lined up so we get straight on with it. No. Like, whoa. Make this. Is that too far back? Nope, that's just right. This bolt. Bolt. Can you use the auto bolter on this guy? Auto bolted already. We'll put another one on there just for good measure. Alright, so we're almost fully assembled as far as the thruster. Then we got this guy right there. Pretty simple. Bolt that guy down. I presume we use this guy to do that. Yep, so now we can't pick it up anymore. Their bottom ones, just to make sure we get it nice and snug. Oh. So then we also got these doohickeys, which are for these. Oh, kitty cat's crying. If you want attention, just come over here. Alright. Like, how do you, like, I want to rotate it. If I bring it up, will it just go in? I gotta rotate it the right way. Go. Bolt. Looks like this guy does not want to auto bolt either. Because if you hold down the left mouse button, it's supposed to auto bolt for you. This, flip it up to the right. There we go. Like that. Click and click. There we go. So that thruster should, hypothetically speaking, be all set and working. So maybe we'll just take it for a quick test drive. Just ooh, that coolant cell's getting low. I'll have to try flipping that out sometime. In the meantime, let's what do we want to do? We want to go into autopilot or cruise mode, which is already on. Leave a little bit. We hear you, kitty. Straight up and out. Cruise mode, we're gonna get out. Very carefully. Go into the back and see if this guy is functioning. Shoot. Does not appear to be functioning. Must not be quite seated correctly. Alright. Let's try that again then. Let's see. Problem is probably not necessarily with the assembly of the inside stuff, it's probably the position. I bet it needs to be a little bit farther forward. Lines up here. Yeah, it just needs to be a little bit farther forward, I think. Oh shoot, I did one on the inside, didn't I? Ah! Can I get in there to undo it? Oops, it undid everything. We want the combustion chamber and the other stuff to stay put. We just want to unbolt the thruster body. And okay, it must be too big for us to grab. Alright. Yes, we'll take it apart. Doing the spaceship surgery out in the open. No, it can't move any forward, can it? It's so hard to tell. So that looks lined up. That looks hardly any different than where we had it. I wish there was a better way to determine if you had it lined up or not. I feel like it's not quite lined up. Air to the right. See that bolt perchance? Not really. Now it feels like it's too far the other way. I think I heard in future patches they're gonna try and there, that felt like it snapped to the right spot. Try that. That's right, you can't do it there. Come on. Bet you if we do 2 there, it should be fine. Doesn't need an inside. 4. Alright. And then we put this guy back inside. Isn't it, Mana? Go inside your home. I figure out why he doesn't want to go inside his home. Just being stubborn. Alright, so like, can we auto bolt it? Might put a couple more in there just for good measure. This guy. Boom. 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 Alright, she's all hooked up. So, I mean, because it's connected to all the same system, so there shouldn't be a need to redo much of anything. Oh, I wonder if we can see from inside. How much of it? Oh, is it, are we out of power? No, we got plenty of power. Am I hitting the wrong button? There we go. I was hitting E instead of F. We like gleam whether or not no, because there's stuff in the way, unfortunately. Stupid plate and those bars. Alright, we'll just close that guy. Oh, wrong button again. There we go. Alright, well, let's just give it another shot. Just turn up the engines a bit here. Weird sound. Oops. Oh no! My ship! Oh boy. That's unfortunate. Oh wait, what's... Oh, this must be that lifeline thing I've heard about. Okay, so that's good. Why would that darn thing turn on? Oh, I'm stunned. There we go. Alright, let's hop out real quick. One thing I suppose we could do is use the U key and see... I'll glean anything from looking at it. Thruster state 0. Here, I'll be right back. I'm gonna ask some questions. Alright, so I rewatched Kenator. I watched his little tutorial video on updating this thing, which is essentially what I'm following. So one thing that I forgot to do is you have to update the flight control unit to include the new thruster. So we went in here, scroll down to these. So these, I think, are just slot placeholders for adding more thrusters. So we went to 17, which looked more like this, and then changed it to thruster 17. And then we went over here, put U, and then we changed the top value to thruster 17. It said something else, I forgot what it said, but it's like thruster flow something or other. Change it to thruster 17. And then it was 0 and it changed to the updated value, which according to Kenator should mean it's working. I still can't put a bolt here, but I think I can add an extra one here. 2. Yeah, we'll set a whole bunch there. Hold it in place. I mean, ideally, you'd probably just add some plating here so you can bolt it down. But that should help keep that in place, so then we should be able to test it, and it should work. Let's turn up the speed a smidge. I always hear that metal creaking. It always makes me a little worried. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's happening? What's happening? Not sure why our... Did I hit something? That our ship was flying weird? Or is that just because our engines are unbalanced? Why the heck won't this guy turn on? Well, that's probably part of our reason is our warp factor is really low. It's liable to break apart. Well, I'm going to take a break then and work on this a little bit further, see if I can figure out why it's not working. And I'll get back to you. I thought for sure we had it this time, but apparently not. I'll be back. Alright, with the help of Mr. Bob Dole here, I think we figured it out. So I was frustrated because I could definitely see, if we look at our thing here, you can see all these, so we know for sure that it was hooked up to the rest of the computer. Otherwise you wouldn't even see these. And then of course this was getting autofilled, so that's the other indicator. But it still wasn't working. What it turned out what it was is that this thruster pipe, or propellant pipe, was missing one of its segments. This last segment here was missing, and you can see the yellow square there that indicates that you could connect something to it, but it wasn't actually connected to the pipe. So now after connecting that, now it's working. So that's what it was. Everything was mounted correctly. It was just that one part. So thanks again, Bob Dole. Alright, so then we're gonna work on this other thruster here. And then... well, that's a cool idea. I didn't even think of that. If you have your pipe tool in hand, you can actually see where the hard point is under it, and you can kind of visualize where it needs to go. And we'll just kind of make sure it's centered, which it looks like it is. So if we come up here with our bolter, yep, we should see some bolting points once it's lined up. So we'll go ahead and bolt those. There we go. So the box is mounted. Oh, inventory. So then we grab the combustion chamber. That sucker down. Need a bunch of bolts because it was yelling at me that there weren't enough bolts in it. So put 4 up here. Then we'll do 2 over here. Should make absolutely sure the combustion chamber is in there. And we'll drop this guy. Yep. And then bolt that sucker. Oh, and close this door so we can get to the other. That guy's all bolted in. Need these to plug in. Get into your hole. Go. Bolt. 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 And bolt. There we go. Should be all hooked up now. So then, oh, we do have to hook it to the FCU though. Let's just make triply sure. That looks like our pipe is connected there, and got a green square. Electricity is hooked up, so should all be good there. So then we just have to hook up the FCU. So then thruster 18. Oh. These guys must have come unbolted when I right-clicked to turn away. I do wish the unbolting was on a different key other than the right-click. So I've done that a lot in the spaceship editor. There we go. There we go. That would have been embarrassing. So, yep, it's hooked up. You see all the other values. There we go. So let's double check the durability checker thing, because that will tell you if something's not bolted enough. Oh, no, it is not. What's going on? I need more bolts to the frame. Add a couple more bolts here to make it happy. There we go. Now I think it should be happy. Yep, so it should have plenty. See if Bob Dole will tell us if the engine's booting up here. Turn off the durability tool here. Was this the ship over here? Nice. I think you'd call this one a flying brick. The Borg vessel. Oh wow, look at all those thrusters. They must go through a lot of propellant. Very cool, buddy. Mr. Bob Dole. Alright. Whoa! Oh, don't do this, buddy. Alright, we're okay. So, thankfully, that friendly endo, Bob Dole, helped us out, so I'm no longer scratching my head as to what the heck's going wrong with our ship. So we updated those two thrusters, so why don't we go take it on a joyride into the asteroid belt? Now, we finally got past that hurdle. Hopefully that will help somebody out there that runs into trouble. Oh, sure, Bob. Let's just pull back here. I'm going to pause here while I'm hanging out with Bob, since that might not be the most interesting thing, just to give him a preview of the ISAN. Oh boy, slow down, slow down. Oh, there's a little more kick to this ship than I'm used to. Alright, so we'll be right back. And we're back. So Bob was nice enough to help us get our setup here modified. This is another modification from Kenator, so if you watch this tutorial, you'll see it. I didn't do it, but he suggested I do it, and I figured I should. So we added a chipset here, and then we put a YOLO chip in it. The YOLO chip has a bit of code, which I can copy and paste into the YouTube description, and basically what it does is it checks to see what the state of the current first battery is. If it's completely full, and it turns off the generator. If it's drained somewhat, then it turns the generator back on until the first battery is full again. That way, when your ship is just idling, sitting right here, it's not chewing through the fuel rod. So it's definitely a good thing. So let's, without any further ado, let's go on a mining trip. Now that we finally got some good speed here, we got plenty of ore crates for storing ore. So we go out into the field and start mining. Good old Bob Dole. So a couple other changes I made to the ship. So one of the things I did have to do, just as a reminder to you if you're editing your own labor in the future, is that the generator's fuel chamber unit rate limit is changed on the default when you first get it to be hooked up to this generator button. So you want to set it to fuel chamber unit rate limit for that that YOLO chip equation. What else? So yeah, the other thing was to double check the, so yep, all 4 engines are working. Double check the hard points on the inside of the ship, make sure they're hooked up with their fuel pipes correctly. And you'll be able to tell if you use your pipe tool. So like right here, you see that there's no square with this yellow pipe going. That tells you that something's hooked up there. This is our fuel rod. Let's see, anything else of interest up here? No, not really. Well, this guy is your durability tool. It's pretty important. It tells you how sturdy your ship is built. Like if you don't have enough bolts to keep things together, then it'll show a lower value here for warp class. You want it to be above 1.0. That's why the ship was groaning when I was turning it on before, is because I didn't have enough bolts in this thruster. So it was reducing the warp class significantly below 1.0, and the ship was groaning when I started it up. That's a good sign. If you hear metal groaning, that probably means you need to stop, double check your bolts, make sure you have enough. If something doesn't have enough bolts, there'll be a little red, see where this green cube is? This will actually be red, and then it'll point out to you what needs to be bolted down. Or what needs more bolts, I should say. So we have our ISAN in there, and we got that, ooh, I don't know what's causing that. That's weird. Got a ghost in our ship here. Oh, that was weird. Yeah, it's been doing that tonight. No clue why. I don't know if I have some application in the background that's somehow causing button clicks here, or we're moving too fast, or what. Yeah, because the engines sound really weird too. Yeah, I have no clue what's going on. Really weird sounds. I don't know. I guess this is kind of glitchy? I don't know. Could be. Didn't have this problem until I started adding those thrusters, so must be some sort of a side effect. For one, oh, that's probably why. We're running out of battery. Is our generator not turning on? It looks like it's turned on. Oh, but the problem is it's filling up. It's not filling up the other ones. Looks like this is what our problem is. Because it turns off. Huh. Okay, well then let's, I guess for the time being, I'll figure out the bugs, figure out how to fix that. For now, we'll just leave the generator on. So we'll just rename this to generator. Set it to like 100 here. There. Now it should be on. Batteries should all be charging. So if we start flying, do we lose our battery still? My understanding is that the thrusters took very little power, so they really shouldn't be decreasing our battery. Yeah, so for now, for driving the... Oh no, it's still slowly going down. Interesting. So I guess with those 2 extra engines, the generator is having a hard time keeping up. It's probably just got one... What's the calculation on that? Starbase Wiki thrusters. $140 a second. It really shouldn't take that much. It shouldn't be that hard for it to keep up. I don't know. Let's stop the ship here, give it a break here. Because we have, should there be at least one generator in here, right? Yeah, this guy right here is a generator. So I might just have to slap a, oh, it's our coolant? No, our coolant seems to be okay. Well, that seems okay to me. So I guess we just might need an extra generator on here. Well, I don't know how long we're going to use this ship, so I might just try and make it limp by and deal with it for the time being, and then when the time comes, we'll upgrade our ship and we'll maybe just make sure to bring a couple generators. So let's head out. So I'll go ahead and pause here. So oh, actually, there was one other thing I wanted to show. Looks like we're finally getting into the asteroids here, though. And that is settings. So I changed around my settings. So now W and D, that's my pitch still. But then I changed my A and my D to my pitch, yaw. So that's the yaw. I like having the yaw here instead of the roll for A and D. And then if I want to roll, I use the Q and E. It just seems like it made more sense to me. And then strafing is still manual over here. I don't remember what this one does. Maybe that's supposed to be for up and down. I don't even know if it's bound. It's on the up and down. Oh, better slow down here. Run low on battery, and we're getting into the asteroid field here. So let's just pull up to some asteroids and start mining. It's a pretty interesting affair. It's pretty similar to basically how you do it on the station. Basically identical. You hook yourself up to your resource bridge, which connects you to your crates. You take your pick, and you turn on your headlamp, jump over to the asteroid, and then you can use, oh, wrong button, left click to crack the into large chunks. And then while you're doing that, I would suggest switching clipping off. It makes it a little easier to chuck the debris. Just get rid of this outer shell so we can get to the tasty nugget on the inside here. Use our right click, turn it into nuggets, and then they get automatically scooped into our backpack, which automatically transfers to our ship. Picking up some of the outer shell so I can chuck that out because it's not worth as much. Alright, so that should be all of it. So then if we look in our inventory, yep, that was Bastium, so that's a pretty important one for what for building stuff. So we'll probably should hold on to that instead of selling it. Don't need the Agitite, so we'll just go ahead and drop it. And basically, these guys are automatic compressors, so that's why it looks like a cube. So we'll just disconnect, hop back in our ship, find another tasty asteroid like that one right there. And we just get a little closer, slow down, slow down. Oh, too fast, too fast. Oops, sorry. Bumped it. Alright, so then let's crack it. As far as I can tell, the bits, when they get far enough away from the mother asteroid, despawn. If they don't automatically stop from the drag force. Because unfortunately, unlike real space games, there is drag force. Probably to help make sure ships don't go careening endlessly into space that they'd have to keep track of. So let's just start grabbing this stuff. Looks like more maybe Bastium. Oh, forgot to connect to our resource bridge. There we go. Let's just keep getting this sweet, sweet material. Chuck away the outer husk. I'll make this piece out of the way. There we go. Ooh, a nice big nugget in this one. Just about got it all. There we are. What are we doing on fullness? Lots of bastions. We might hold on to that because I know we need that for making ships, and that's a pretty common ore that you need for making ships. So we might hold on to some of the stacks and just put it in our station inventory. Alright. Let's get out of here. Got that red rock up here. There be gold in these rocks. Ship stops. Let's check it out. Crack that hard outer shell. Get to that juicy inner filling. So with this particular game, I probably won't be recording everything because it's already been a long time. For instance, since the first recording when I started playing. But I'll try and check in every now and then and give people updates for what's been going on in the game. Possibly even coming up with some tutorials. Maybe some tutorials for that shipbuilder. Tips and tricks sort of thing. So the shipbuilder is like a little in-game tool for constructing or designing ships. So that you don't have to, on the fly, try and piece everything together. You can do it from a godlike mode. Which, you know, I kind of don't like. I like that, you know, after now playing the game, I didn't like the idea definitely before I got access. But actually getting in here and experiencing the game, I can see why the designer would be pretty important for people to be able to design their ships. Because, boy, it would be difficult to try and design. Like, you spend all this time trying to hook stuff together, weld and bolt it together, and then you decide, oh, it doesn't work, and then it takes super long to break everything down. You gotta have all the parts in your inventory to do it. So I could see why doing stuff in the designer would probably make a little bit more sense, but I still would like to see that there's maybe some sort of cost benefit to building a ship from scratch by hand rather than using the designer, especially if you can make it out of prefabs that you can maybe make using an assembly line. That'd be pretty cool. Let's see. Gotta be connected to the ship to see the inventory. I just want to see how much we collected. I think we'll just head back with what we got here because we're getting pretty full. So the ship's probably gonna have a hard enough time moving as it is. Let's head back in. So if you're ever out in space, even without your ice sand, I guess the warp gate is visible from pretty dang far away. So as long as you can see the warp gate, the big blue warp gate effect and the planet, you should be able to navigate back. Unless for some reason you spent hours flying to the other side of the gas giant. In which case you'll just have to do your best to fly all the way around the planet again. Alright, so I think I'll just pause the recording here and then we'll get back and see how much we get for these ores. I will see you guys after our little trip here. So I did want to comment a little bit here. I just thought of something to talk about. Is it definitely feels like we're moving a lot slower than we were, and that's undoubtedly because we have quite a bit of material in our ore containers. So each one of these Bastion full stack containers is 14,000 kilograms. Each one of these mercurium is 12,700 kilograms. So we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 130, no, more than that. more than 130,000 kilograms heavier. So it definitely makes sense that our ship would be having a hard time making it back into dock. Or at least it's traveling a lot slower. It looks like our battery's running out, so. But anyways, I just thought I'd let you know. So you need lots of thrusters to move lots of ore. So that's an important feature if you're going to be building a ship with lots of ore crates, is that you got to have lots of thrusters so you can actually move at a decent clip when you're fully loaded, when you have your payload. Because these aren't even the heaviest ores, right? So they're only in like the 7 range, right? 8, 7. There are some ores that are easily double that or a little bit more than that in density. So they'd be even harder to move with that many stacks. Twice as hard. Alright, so I'll get back to making our way back. Okay, so this is a little interesting information here. So there's a setting on the generator called generator unit rate, and that it was set to 35. So if we set this guy a little bit higher, will that increase the amount of electricity we produce? So we increase this to, it was at 30, I set it to 50, it's not quite enough. What if we set it to 75? Oh, that's a good question. Do we have enough coolant? We're looking okay, but we're gonna need more at some point. What are we doing? Does that change how fast our battery's being consumed? Yes, so now we're generating power. But we're probably going through our fuel rod faster. But that's okay. But that should fix our issue with having to start and stop where the thrusters are running out of power. So I think that was what was throwing off, sending the gremlins through the ship, throwing off our trajectories, is that some of the thrusters were running out of didn't have enough power to operate, so then it was flinging us at odd angles because the maneuvering thrusters nor the box thrusters had quite enough power. So excellent, so that solved that issue. Glad to have done that. And I mean, it doesn't feel like we're chewing through this rod very fast. I just put in a new one, so the one I think you get doesn't have a lot of power in it, or maybe it just got ate up when I was looking around at things. Didn't realize it was getting used. So yeah, we're gonna come in here, we're gonna sell some of our ore. Don't know that we're gonna sell all of it though, because we might want to, especially the bastion, we might just hold on to, because I know my understanding is most of the material you use to build your ship is going to be made out of bastion, so holding on to that's going to be a good idea. So this is called an ore tower. We just go over it. Oh, oh, ah! Too fast, too fast, too fast. Back up. Reverse thrusters. You can manually engage levers using the F key and dragging. Because reverse isn't actually mapped to anything right now, I don't think. Right, there we go. And then we're gonna move a little bit closer. Strafe a little bit closer. And we should be able to change our pitch, and then if this is mapped correctly, yep, so that is, so that lever does control the up down, so we can change this a little easier. And we'll just move forward a smidge. Too far. Back up. Back close enough. So now if we get out, and what we do is we're connected to our resource bridge still. So we go over to this guy and connect to it. Now our spaceship is connected to the resource bridge. You can see the content of our ship. So now if we choose to, we can sell ore. So we'll definitely sell the agitite, because I don't think that's used for anything. The valkite. Yep, that's more crummy stuff from the outer shells. So I don't think we need the mercurium as much. So let's sell the mercurium. Those are almost 100,000 each, so that's not bad. So I've done a couple mining trips, and then today's I got us back up nearly 4 million, so that's not bad at all. Do we have any partials? Might as well just clean those out, keep it nice and clean. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll sell 2 stacks. And then we'll go into our inventory. How would I transfer this? I don't want to click it because I think that sells it. I think to transfer it, you just have to be near the station. And then connect to your ship. And then you should be able to drag it from the ship into your storage. Yep, just like that. Now we have Sebastium for producing stuff if we need to. And then if we need to refill on propellant or electricity, want to refill our batteries, we can go here and purchase it. Because some ships, smaller ships, you might not put a generator on if they don't need that much electricity. I know the box thrusters, the triangle thrusters rather, use very little electricity. So you could probably get away without needing a generator. You could get away with just a bunch of batteries. And then you just refill the power as you need it. So our generator's already been keeping things in full. And then we need more propellant. I mean, we don't need it, but it's always good to have that on hand. Disconnect here. And then I want to double check this guy and get this script working now that we figured out our issue. Go here, rename this back to its default name down there, the local key, which is Fuel Chamber Unit Rate Limit. Then our script automatically turned it off because we're not using any power or enough power to be worth turning on. So then we can just go here. That's about it. The only other thing I might just start introducing here before we sign off is the ship designer, which you can get access to that here at this big hangar that says, what's it say? Like make a ship or something, design a ship, something like that. Yeah, it says something like that. I forget what it was exactly, but oops. Good thing it is in a safe zone, so I shouldn't have to worry about my stuff breaking. Thank goodness for that. Gotta get better at flying. It's been a lot better since I updated the controls, though. So if we go down here, now that inside the blue bubble, it won't despawn, it'll just always stay there. And if I load back in the game, it'll even load into the game in that position, because inside this instance, nobody else sees it. So if we want to check out the editor, we go here, start private editing. So I already started developing a ship, but I don't like some of the issues I have with it, so I might remodel it from scratch after I learned some lessons. And that is that it takes lots of thrusters to push a ship that has ore in it. I was planning on making a big hauler that would hold lots of crates to bring into the asteroid belt, and we can slowly work on filling it up and bringing it back for lots of money. Where is it? This would be here, or transport A1. Yeah, so, you know, I was starting to really like it, especially the cockpit here. I like this big glass area. It gives lots of varied ways to view things. But I'm not liking how my back end and the thrusters are integrated here. So I came up with this because I was struggling with how to get the thrusters connected to the ship. And it's difficult to do it because you have to have one of these points here. There's the device hardpoint you can connect them to, but those ones can be tricky to get them attached. This one's nice because it has so much space around it, and on the inside it's easy to bolt the hardpoint itself. You can actually go in through the slip directly to a beam. So it's versus, say, the small device hardpoints, you basically kind of have to like put it over beams in order to bolt it down because there's no real lip for it to bolt into the side of a beam, versus this guy can go snug against a beam and be bolted in that way. And then this got this thin here that just goes flush with the armor, so it looks real nice. So those could be nice. But the other thing I was looking at doing is trying to make modules. So I made a 4-engine module, which you can use these buttons up here to do it. This takes a selected group of parts, like if you were to select them like this, and then this creates a module out of it. So like you see these green dots, they represent the different modules. So one of these guys should show up as a 4-box module. So I just placed it here just for placeholding. So what I did is I created a module that's 4 box thrusters. And then if we inspect it here, we'll see what I did. So what I did is I just basically took the thrusters, mounted it to one of the large ones and duplicated it so that they could be on top of each other, and then put some beams around it so that they can be mounted and sturdy. And then on this instance, this one I started testing wiring it up with some of the gas tubing, running it around. So I'm thinking we'll probably want to like maybe have, I don't know, I'm still kind of figuring it out, but I'm thinking that what I might do is instead of working on the ship right now, I'll just work on some modules that I can use to build the ship. So trying to work out this box thruster. And the reason why we need all these thrusters is because, like, for example, the labor only has, was it 6, 12, 18 crates, and we were moving pretty dang slow just trying to get back. So if you can imagine trying to have, say, 30 or 40 crates, that's a significant jump up. So, and we were using 4 on the labor, so we need quite a few more thrusters to get things moving. And the benefit of these box thrusters is they have more thrust, they use less propellant per second per thrust, but they use more electricity. So that's the caveat. So we'll probably want to make sure we have a couple generators in here to support the thrusters, and maybe some backup fuel rods in our ship in case we run out of power. And then of course we'll have to make sure we have lots of propellant. So just some things that we'll have to work on, but I think for now I'm going to work on building out these modules. And then I'll see about doing some tutorial videos on using the ship editor, maybe help other people, because some of the stuff can be really tricky, like using these angled beams. It's also a little confusing using these beams in general because they're measured in centimeters in groupings of 12, and the reason why is because one, is it because the bar itself is 12 across, or is it because, I forgot what it was now, but like the smallest bar beam is 24 by 24. So, oh, that's right. So they use units of 12 and 24 because that's what this base one is made out of, 24. So this, if you need, basically think of 24 centimeters as half a unit, and then so then a 36 centimeter would be basically 1.5 units, and then a 48 would be 2 units, and then 72 would be, you know, so on and so forth. So it's a little bit confusing, but you start to get the hang of it, and it got a little easier as I did more and more of it. I mean, this, just looking at it, looks intimidating. It's tedious, that's for sure, but once you start to get used to it, it gets a little easier. Hooking up the glass is a little tricky, but once you figure out the different angle bars, it gets a little easier. So I can give you a sample of a few of those things. So yeah, so I thank you guys for joining me, and I hope to have more accomplished to share with you on the next video. And you know, if you're not busy, be sure to like and subscribe my my YouTube channel. I'd certainly appreciate it. And if you're bored, be sure to check out my other Let's Plays. I'm currently working on a XCOM Long War Rebalance, which is a lot of fun. I do need to make another video of that. It's been a little while. I think I might work on that next week and play this some more this weekend. So I hope to see you guys next time. Bye-bye.